Yo, let's get into a end of day for today, right? Another day, another loss, as per usual, right? But not complaining, bro. I'll never complain about good losses, right? I think good losses are okay because they add to the experience. So taking a good loss is okay with me. So USD CAD, my expectation was for this 4 hour zone to hold, right? And then for the bearish momentum to continue lower, but instead it ended up targeting this 4 hour. Is this the point that holds before we continue lower? That's what we'll see, right? And it's coming few days. So anyway, the idea this morning, right? We had a boss, so swing is bearish, right? Swing is bearish. It pushed up on Friday last week, right? Pushed up, came into this M15 zone here slash the 4 hour in here, pushed down, and then yesterday started pushing up again, right? Didn't break the low, which is the first sign of weakness of the high, right? Even though this was the strong swing high, it's now kind of like failing to create a low, right? But following the internal, this break up, right? Sweeping the liquidity in there, this move swept the liquidity in there, right? After sweeping liquidity, it pushes straight down, right? That's when it gives me the confidence to say, okay, maybe now the strong swing high will hold, right? And then I simply look for sells in there, mix it, which made it pro swing pro internal, right? Pro swing pro internal, and then there was a M5 M15 chalk, right? M15 chalk there, which means I look for a M5 liquidation, and the liquidation does happen in here. I can just throw it out for interest sake, right? Where you have your chalk there, 5 minute chalk, 5 minute up, sweep is like somewhere in there. There's a sweep in there, and then finally the strong liquidation, right? 5 minute strong liquidation, and then obviously enter on the close of the candle, right? And actually, could I have saved myself a loss, right? By saying, okay, this candle actually broke out of the zone that I had drawn on, but in reality, if you actually look at the zone, right, I could give it leeway to sweep this high here, and like this is still sort of like the entire pivot, right? So this tiny sweep of the high didn't really bother me, right? Hence I was okay with the tiny sweep of the high, and then just looking for the continuation there, and then unfortunately I don't get the continuation, right? It starts stumbling upward, and then we end up having a M15 boss, and then if this zone is to hold, right, then I'll start following the internal, looking for the bearish pullback, right? Bearish pullback counter the swing, because the swing is bullish at this point. But overall, I still think we will have like the 4 hours selling. So looking for the M15 sells, I think is still a little bit a higher probability, right? Since my expectation is for the 4 hour to be selling, but if I can't look for sells, then it's fine. In terms of buys, I wouldn't be looking for buys as we've already come into the zone here. Yeah, I'll be okay with sitting on my hands. And then I was thinking of the inverse with this mark here. Wait, actually, let me record this before. Oh, this, you see? Um, oh yeah, I was in a rush actually when I took this one, but I did kind of get a little bit of time with the M5. Like also, it's crazy that like I'd move away from the screen and then like the moment I come back, like something is happening, and then it's like I really have to work on my intervals of checking on the market. I think I'm taking too big of intervals in between checking the market, and then it ends up causing me to be in a rush. So really work on those intervals, right? But anyway, this ends up being a loss, right? But it's a valid loss, and as you do know, I'm okay with that. 1%, right? And then markups, it's pretty important to. Oh shit! I might have been speaking and my Notion might have not shown, but I was actually on my Notion, so probably didn't make sense what I was saying. Anyway, I want to look at the greater context, right? Because when I go over these trades, I need to be able to come through and really see the difference in my ideas. Right, when the time for review comes, I need to be able to account, man. That's another thing that I'm working on, is taking these valid losses, but most importantly, journaling them and being able to account for them when the time comes. So yeah, that's gonna be fun. Okay, right here I had, okay, after the 5 minute, not 5 minute, the 15-minute break of the swing. Okay, usually you want to play the continuations, but then right, like I said, with the thoughts in the back of my mind, it's like, really, can I look for like continuation plays from this M15 zone here, right? Take the risk entry because there's no chalk. Can I look for this? I didn't like the idea because my bias on the 4 hour is still bearish, right? Of course, this is not a horrible play, but because of my bias and the fact that we are already this close to this 4 hour POI, and as you can see, the target now has to be like deep within the POI. So I just put it on there just to monitor it, right? It was an idea in my head, but not an idea I'm willing to execute on. But it doesn't mean I don't have, I can't monitor the idea and just keep a mental note, right, for next time, because I am looking into this, taking like profit before zones that I think the market can react from. So yeah, I think I basically spent the entire video on USD CAD because that's where the real good movement was. GPUSD, I got an iPass here, right? Expectation is for the swing to continue. I did set my alert here, looking for continuation of these zones, which I thought were better, right? Either this one here or this one. I was willing to take the loss in here and then in the pivot as well. I did not take the 1:2 in here, right after the sweep of this liquidity here, simply because the internal was bearish at this point, and also I didn't actually sweep this low here, so I thought it's gonna be low probability, even though it does work out, but still, like 9 times out of 10 I'm not taking that, so there's no point in taking that. What I can do maybe is do I want to record it as like a good setup? Do I want to record it as a good setup, but with a caveat, and the caveat being it's just data, right? That I can go back and look at and say, Okay, out of 10 times that I tried this, or 50 times, or the 100 times I tried this, it works out 60 times, which means it's profitable, right? Maybe I'll do that. I'll just put like a mental note for myself. Record the M15 Asian low sweep trade. Asian low sweep trade. Yeah, I'll do that tomorrow. I will do that tomorrow. Yeah, for now I'm just going to do a review and call it a night, honestly. Also, why am I doing this late? Just been sat here playing chess. Euro USD, yeah, I was waiting for either the swing high to go here, not the swing, the internal high to go, or to create a new low, and then I didn't get that. Right, I think there was, yeah, iffy, right? Iffy price action. I'm not into iffy price action since my internal is bearish. I am not interested in selling beyond this point as well. I think the chance up beyond this point was kind of crazy, so I was not actually interested in any sales for Euro USD. My only goal here is to look for buys, right? I think at this point in time they are the highest probability, so just stick to that. Definitely was not interested in any sales. So yeah, decent day, decent price action. Another day in the books, man. That's all I'm happy about. Yeah, let's come back tomorrow, man. Rinse and repeat, baby. Rinse and repeat. Peace.